experiencing here. That's my answer to the skepticism that every one of us faces when we come in to look at this. Complete skepticism. How could this possibly be? But usually within just a few days or a few hours, we are experiencing a notable difference. Now, when I came in, I had probably half a dozen motives for doing this. First of all, I had called Bob because I had a question about network marketing, and I know he's been very successful at it, and I'm part of a different company. And so I just wanted to know, man, I'd like to learn a little bit more from you, Bob. You and I are very close friends. And he told me, his answer was, wow, that's a very timely call, Dwayne, because I've just gotten into something I want you to take a look at. And I thought, well, geez, okay, man, I'm in just based on you, Bob. And so I had no idea what to expect. I knew a little bit about quantum physics because it's always been, if I'm a guy interested in space, you can bet I've read about quantum physics. So I have a little bit of understanding on a very surface level of that kind of thing. So I looked at Dr. Cook and watched a couple of his videos actually and said, yeah, I'm in. I want to learn about that. I want to know what's going on here. And it's not the logic, it's not the arguments, it's not the facts that convinced me that this is real. It's the experience that I'm seeing in people that I've learned to really love and care about, including myself. Yeah, I do love myself too. And here's what I had hidden behind all of my motivations. I'm not a realtor anymore. I gave it up. In fact, it was very, very stressful for me. So as of January 1st, I decided, man, I've had enough of that. I don't want to give myself that kind of stress like Carl did with some of his network marketing. It's motivated in greed. I mean, the paychecks are big, so you want to get those paychecks. And that's what causes the stress, is the want for money. And I wanted something better and richer and deeper than that. And I'm experiencing it here, I can tell you. But the hidden motive behind everything was that I, like many of our population here, have had some very serious things happen to me. In 2002, I broke my neck in a tree falling accident. I cut down a tree that hit me in the head. And it did break my neck. I had a split fracture of 4 vertebrae in my neck, a concussion fracture down in my lower back, and was hospitalized by that. You can only imagine. I had a head injury that just about killed me. But I came out of all that, and I came out of it without fusing, because there's a reason for that, but I'll tell you that reason at another point. I went through a lot of pain from that. The greatest pain of all that I went through had to do with loss of memory. I couldn't remember a lot of things, and that was exacerbated again just a couple of years ago when one of the repercussions from what I went through that far back was the second time I had blood clots in my lung. And this one was a pulmonary embolism on my left lung, this side over here. It felt like a bullet in my sternum. It hurt so bad. I'm the one that called for an ambulance, and because I couldn't take the pain. And I wasn't sure it wasn't my heart, but it wasn't my heart. It was a blood clot in my lung. Well, they took me in and they put me under, and I think that's when this happened. It might have been at another point, but I can't remember a lot of that because my memory was really damaged or fogged by the experience. And I thought, one day I was talking to somebody that I know that's a nurse, and she told me that it was probably, your memory problem was probably because your brain was starved from oxygen. It took you off the anesthetic too rapidly, which could very well have been the case. Nonetheless, I noticed a marked difference in my ability as a realtor, for instance, because I couldn't remember even my clients' names. I could hardly remember unless I had it on something written down what the listing was for a property. Somebody called and they wanted to know how much I had to look it up. Oh my gosh. Could I write a contract? It was very challenging to write a contract. Real estate contracts are lengthy, very detailed, and critical to the outcome. Well, I was suffering a lot from all that, and that was probably the beginning of saying, man, I got to let go of this. There's too much stress here for me. But I couldn't, when I started playing piano, I'm a piano player. That's a piano in the background here. I'm a performing piano player. I love to play piano for an audience. The bigger the audience, the better. I play better. And but here's what was happening to me while I was playing piano. A lot of people would come up and do selfies with me, and they liked what I was doing, and I loved that, of course. And so I would ask them their name, and then inside of a few seconds later, I'd have to ask them, your name again was, and it was horrible. They would come in the next time I was playing, and I couldn't remember who they were. And, oh man, I began to realize that I had a real problem, memory-wise, and that my fear was, we all have had pain. Many of the people in here are talking about pain and how significant that can be and debilitating, if that's the right word. Debilitating is the right word. I remembered it. I'm a writer also, and the other thing that I noticed was that I was forgetting how to spell common words that I used all the time. I had to look them up sometimes to get it right, or depend on the computer to tell me what was correct. That is a horrible experience. Both my father died from advanced dementia. My mother died from dementia. And in the last few months of her life, I sat with her one day when she could not remember a word of how to talk to me. What she ended up doing just broke my heart. She growled. She growled not at me. She growled because she couldn't find words to express anything to me. It was so frustrating to me. She was almost like an animal. She, like that. It was horrible. So I saw myself, man, is that what I'm developing? Am I suffering from that? That was my hidden thing that I really wanted an answer to. I mentioned this to Carl earlier on, maybe in the third week. Don't we have anything from memory? I'd be glad to be the guinea pig if you guys want to explore that. Maybe Dr. Cook would take that up. But I didn't find anything in there. I did find something that had memory attached to it in my own understanding. And that was in the bonus product boost. When you click on all on your back office, you'll see the whole list of what's offered. And in that list was two things that I thought, man, that could be very interesting to me. So I'm going to put those on and see what happens. And Kelly is doing this right on the same kind of report that I gave. The two aspects of InfoBoost that I put on were prosperity. Gee, I would like to make a living. I can tell you that. So prosperity has to have, you can't have prosperity unless you have memory. You can't, if you can't remember things, how are you going to enjoy an income from what you're doing? So I thought, okay, I'm going to go for prosperity. And then the next one was resolve. Resolve is when you make a decision and you're going to stick to it. Well, if you can't remember what you're doing or why you're doing it, how is that going to be effective? You can write down goals and you can look at them and go, why did I write that?
Talking about these testimonies, man.
Honestly. And so the point I'm making here is that those two factors, those two info boosts, which have bodily, natural ways of helping the mind to remember, to work on the brain, so that we can remember things. And what a computer we have up here, right? So that's what I did. And the third one was focus. Focus seemed like, oh man, if I can focus on anything, then I could remember what I'm doing. And the combination of those three together for me was the real kicker in my personal experience. That's when I realized that I really had something here. That I'm not gonna let go of this. I'm gonna follow this and learn from it and see if I can understand how that little spaceship up by Pluto can send a received message that far and have all the pixel detail of a planet that far away, even in the kind of light that that has. Incredible. So if that can work, then I can accept, in my skepticism, I can accept somehow how does this individual receive that spark, that energy send of information without buying product. Think about that. Without buying any of the products that are in those lists, I get the information of what those products mean to the human body. And the spark that I took part in the initial entering into this, that was one of the things I picked up from Dr. Cook. I'll just tell you real quickly. Dr. Cook said in one of his videos that the mind is only 2% of your knowledge. The other 98% is in your body. And if you think about how many cells there are in your body, we're approaching 4 billion. We're approaching much more than that, I think. But it's like the distance to Pluto and back, perhaps. That's what our body activates and somehow regulates in its function to stay alive. And so it's not all in our mind. Our mind is our point of self-consciousness. That's what gives us the ability to move through life. But so, okay, enough of that. So I experienced running those three. I experienced, and it took actually about 2 weeks before I really could say honestly, wow, I'm beginning to remember people's names. Oh, yeah, I know where I put my cell phone. I know where I put that, whatever it is, whatever it was. I knew that I had something in my glove compartment in my truck. And I would never have thought that I put it there, but I did put it there, and I remembered it. I'd see somebody at the store, and I'd say, hey, how you doing? Or Margaret, or Maggie. You know, and it was such a pleasure for me to be able to do that. People that had heard my piano, I could remember where I met them, who they were. God, I can't tell you how much that meant to me. So I know I'm taking a little long here, but I want to tell you why we come back here every day. Every day. Most of us who are sold on this are here every day, and the list is expanding rapidly. It's because we have a culture here of acceptance and mutual experience, even if our experiences are radically different. Like I don't know what Bill Patterson has gone through with Parkinson's. I don't know what it's like to be Carl with his diabetic situation and loss of eyesight and that sort of thing, and to see him rebound and return, or Cosmos, who has has had some pretty severe glaucoma and things with her eyesight, and to have her story come back to us about how that's improved. Man, we've really got some hope here. But it's created, that hope has created for us a culture of love, love and respect for each other. And we really like each other. I like, because I'm a space nut, I like to see that this is like Star Trek. Man, let's go off to the nearest star. And because we're communicating this way, and we can see each other just like it was on Star Trek. Well, whoever knew that could be possible. But the culture that we have is the big thing, along with the experience that we are all enjoying as it increases our awareness that we cannot necessarily cure, but we can certainly improve our lifestyle significantly. That's why I'm here. That's my story.
Something simple. Awesome, Dwayne. Thank you so much for sharing with us. That was amazing. Everyone's saying over here, Dan was saying I could listen to this guy forever. People are saying magic. Man, it's so good to hear you talk. You're very articulate, emotional. It was really good, man. Thank you for that. and we're into space too. Right now, I'm flashing my quarantine haircut, my stay-at-home haircut, because there's no hairdressers or anything. But last night we actually went for a drive and watched the moon rise. It was really cool, man. And you could see all the craters on the moon and everything. It was amazing, man. Yeah, but that was a really good story about Pluto that used to be a planet. That was pretty wild, man. It really puts this whole technology in perspective. That was really cool. So we are gonna go over to who had 777 in there. Carl, you had a 777.
Remember Agnes from yesterday? Agnes
She's on here too. Yeah, she's on my list.
from yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, let's let Agnes go first.
Okay, you go first. Yeah, Agnes goes first. She has priority. There you go.
Good morning, everyone. It's actually 7 o'clock for this meeting. Sorry, it starts at 7 o'clock here, so it's not too early. Although I'm still in bed in my pajamas, covered up. Right, let's not muck around. Now, I had some, mind-blowing experience the other night. And I really wanted to share with you because it was quite a frightening experience. One of the things I really wanted to work on was, or to have improved, was I have asthma, and I've had asthma since, it's been a problem since January. Prior to that, it's never been a problem. It just happens every so often. So it's been ongoing since January, and I've had several lots of prednisone and antibiotics, and I'm not keen on drugs at all. By the way, before I continue, are you hearing me okay? Is my internet okay today? Brilliant, right. Okay, so I've had those drugs and decided, no more, they're not working. And I know if I go to the doctors, they're going to give me prednisone. Well, the other night was pretty scary. All day I had been having to use my inhaler quite regularly, and it was getting to the point where it was becoming ineffective. So,
I'm not watching the video,
what did I do?
Live call, but I'm muted.
And with the lockdown going on over here in New Zealand, I thought,
I know.
it's going to be such a rigmarole going to the hospital. I actually live very close to the hospital. It's not that I can walk
from
there.
some well-educated old people.
So,
you know what I mean? And so citing various
I sort of like
issues
took a
as
moment
being
and had a
addressed by this
think and
application.
was trying to. I had initially started allergy. I've tried that a couple of times, but I'm really sensitive, so I, like a lot of people here, get instant reactions. But I got nothing from allergy, and I had been trying different things. I was running inflammation and pain because of a problem I had with my legs the other day, but the inflammation because a lot of whatever we're going through has to do with inflammation somewhere. In this case, it's the airways, I believe. So sat down, had a moment, and I remembered something someone had said. It just came to me from you know who. I believe in a higher power, quite comfortable calling that God.
How about whole on
And
eats?
so the thought came through, and I thought, right, okay, I'll do that. So I
Whole on
immediately changed my custom because I thought,
Hold
I'm
on,
not
food.
the same person I was 5 days ago. I'm
How about
actually
no
having
hold on
the problem
food?
right now, and I need my body in the place it's in right now to choose
There's a
the
laughter.
ingredients it needs.
There's
right
a
now.
laughter.
So that was my
hold
thinking.
on food.
So I did that. Oh my gosh, 5 minutes, I felt a change. 15 minutes, I felt like my chest had opened up. An hour, oh my gosh, here it comes. I could breathe without the wheeze. I could talk. I could breathe. Gosh, you don't realize how wonderful it is to breathe until you can't, or get to the point where you can't. I was reluctant to go to the doctor, to go to the hospital. I was reluctant, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't have gone there.
So with a video call.
But I also know the power of my body to do what it needs to do, provided I give it the fuel, whatever is necessary, and I put it in a place that resonates with who I am. So, change the environment, change what I'm eating, change what I'm doing, and don't be closed off to anything that comes to you that might seem really strange, but could possibly work. Thank you, Rod Murray. So out of that, I am now sitting here, my second day since that experience of changing my custom, to being a lot more at ease, breathing easier, not using my inhaler as much, no, not using it consistently through the day. So it's like hallelujah over here. That's my biggie.
12.
And the other experience I just wanted to share with everyone is
maybe.
I have things happen in my mind. I have mental issues. One of them is my mind can race. It can go really fast. I can't tell you it's a whole lot of thoughts in there that are going round and round. It just speeds.
Peace.
And when that happens, it's really tiring. And I just like sit because I'm thinking, how can I slow it down? The breathing, the meditation. Well, while I was sitting there in this space of fastness and rapid mental speed, something occurred to me again. And it was something that was said in these meetings, someone's experience, that brought to my mind focus. My daughter had actually said to me, she said, Mum, why don't you try calm? When I told her I had this racing mind. She said, well, try calm. And I thought, So I sat down and I was about to put calm on, and I think it's called a Freudian slip, but I actually I actually ended up putting focus on it. Just like that. It was gone. No speed. I just thought, bliss. And immediately got on and did whatever I needed to do. So that's a tool that I know is there when things get too speedy. So that's it for me. 2 great, wonderful experiences I've had that I hope help somebody out there. Thank you, everyone, for sharing.
Thank you, Agnes. That was awesome. Everybody's clapping. You helped lots of people.
Yes.
You helped tons of people there. Even just sharing about when you decided, even after 5 days, you decided to change your custom again. I bet that helped lots of people. Now I know that. I didn't even know that. So that's why it's really important for us to share what's going on. I always say what we can't do alone, we can do together, right? Because sharing our experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I listened to Dr. Cook, and I heard him say that 10 to 14 days. So I decided to do that. I think that makes great sense.
Yeah.
And I was running my custom for that time. But because of the experience I had, I decided to follow. And I'm strong in my own knowing. And so that's what I did. Okay, so thanks everyone.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. What a way to kick off Therapeutic Thursday. This is great. Dwayne and Agnes, thank you guys so much. We have a lot going on here at QuantumNomads. So I'm going to turn it over to Bob to let you guys know what's happening.
Wow. I kind of want to just keep going. Forget this, but anyway, we got some announcements. Tonight is our first Therapeutic Thursday Part 2. We just call it Part 2. We call it Therapeutic Thursday PM, whatever you want to do. We're co-laboring with Ron Spence, and that was a slot that he was already doing a conference call. So we decided to work together on that. So Tonight, our special guest is going to be Ron Spence, which is incredible, but it's going to be Ron in a little different light. What Ron's going to do is he's going to share his involvement and his testimony with the limbic arc, with Dr. Cook, just kind of the intricacies, not so much the science. He might go a little bit into that because I've never heard him not go into it, but at the same token, the focus is going to be just like what we do here on this meeting, which is to share testimony. So he's going to fall into that. The show tonight's going to be similar to what we do on Therapeutic Thursday. We're just doing it in the evening. There's a lot of folks that the evenings work better for them. Right now there's a lot of people that aren't working, but there's a lot of people that slot worked better for. So we're gonna have, it's basically the same thing we're gonna do here. We're gonna share testimonies like we do, and Ron is gonna be our special guest, so we'll put that out for you as well. And then tomorrow is I wanted to say this. Congratulations to everybody that's out here on the QuantumNomads.tv reality program. We, for the first time in our history, we hit over 100 during the week. Now our Formula Fridays, we've been hitting 100, every week, and last week we had an all-time high. But for our regular ones, congratulations, guys, you're getting the job done. And I say that because what you're doing is you're sharing the love, you're sharing it with other people, and they're coming on here and they're finding out that this is really helping people. So congratulations for that. And then tomorrow is our Formula Friday with Ron Spence. Then we're going to get into the science of things. What we're going to do there is we're just going to put him. We're going to put him on and let him just do his thing. Basically, you just wind him up like a top, and away he goes. And so, but tomorrow, just so you know, it's going to. He was sharing with me yesterday. He's got a lot of new formulas that he wants to share, and what's going on with the company. And it's going to be focused on Formula Friday. So that's what it's about. Not feel free, but we're honored to be able to invite our guest to this, and it's going to be focused on what we're doing here with Limbic Arc, the Quantum Nomads, the team, everything that has to do with that. So we're really looking forward to that tomorrow. And of course, Saturday with Carl. Carl is going to be doing our Super Boost Saturday, and he also does Quantum Sunday, which starts off the week on Sunday at the same time, because we do this 7 days a week. And then also, and also on the my mind's going a lot, and I don't have my notes with me. Let me think. The Telegram group. The Telegram group, guys. We're getting there slowly but surely. But the primary communication source, we're going to put it through our Facebook group. But as you guys know, if you're not on Facebook, right when you get those announcements, you're not going to get those. Telegram, you're going to get those announcements. We're going to send out the flyers that way. And what you can do when you're on there is you can actually, and here's what I would recommend from you guys. For those of you that are on Telegram, if you go to that, right at the top, it has the link that Daniel's putting on right now. But you can also go to that link, copy it, and share it with people that are on your team. So that's an easy way to do that. So share that with everybody, because really, I mean, when push comes to shove, this is going to be our primary communication to the field, and we don't want anyone to fall through the cracks. So all of that being said, I hope we covered it all. But looking forward to some more testimonies, because you guys are awesome. Thank you, Dwayne, for sharing. Agnes, that's awesome. And I'm looking forward to many more.
Thanks, Bob. That was fantastic. And just before we get back to testimonies again, and I know there's a lot of people that came on here late, and if you're wondering how do you share your testimony, all you got to do is put 777 in the chat, and you can do that. But before we do that, for all the new people on here, you're probably wondering, what is this technology and how does it work? And we're not going to get into the science, but we're going to show you how simple it is to set it up. So I'm going to turn it over to Carl, the mad scientist Holdson, and he's going to show you how easy this is to use.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of just share a little bit of my testimony because it has a lot to do with this here and a lot of what people were saying. A short thing that, as Dan says, I test a lot of things here. So I'm just going to close off a couple of these here. But this one here, prosperity result, came up a couple. Start a custom, how different it is. And I've been able to actually, a lot of people who know me, I deal with a lot of diabetic pain and I have to run pain and inflammation daily. But what has happened to me, folks, is I've been able to actually shut those off and go a couple of days without that happening. Now, the reason behind all that is because of this one boost, okay? This is what's so critical, because what has happened is that I have been able to select the ingredients that work on all of those different things, so it allows me to maybe not have to run the pain or the inflammation and be able to run other things, which has been helping me in different parts of my body reconstruction back to balance again. So if you're new and you're just coming and looking at this for the first time, when you see this screen here, when you log in, this is actually going to be a blank canvas right now. And the only thing you will see is this green Add Info Boost button. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to actually close my custom. So this is what it will look like today, okay? So if you're just starting up, you're going to come in, you're going to click this Add Info Boost button. You're going to see these tabs that are up here. The important one we're going to click on right now is the custom one. And then on demand. And the reason we're selecting on demand is because this is we're going to be creating a spark that's going to, your body is going to select on demand all the ingredients that it wants right now. So I'm going to click that, and now there's a blue button here. And this one here, this is just for when you're getting started. Now, on Super Boost Saturday, I'm going to talk about different uses of this button. But for today, we're just going to say if you're just getting started, this is the only time you're going to click this button is on your very first boost. So we're going to click that, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a voice frequency pattern and a kinetic response data pattern. Those two together will create your energy spark that will go out and request information of all the ingredients that your body is requesting. So let me show you how that's done. We'll click continue. Now it gives you some options that are in here, but you know what you really want to do is you want to talk gratitude or thanks for positivity, basically, for what you want. So let me just kind of give you an example, okay? So what's going to happen when I click this button, there's going to be a bar graph that's going to come up, and you'll have to talk for 10 complete seconds until that whole bar graph fills up with green bars, okay? So like this. Hey, my name is Carl Hovelson, and I have so much gratitude for Limbic Arc for helping me with my digestive issues and my pain tolerance and my vision issues. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm creating a spark that's focusing on the positive side of things, but it's also going to focus on what I need for my body. Okay, so now that's part one. The second part is your kinetic touch. Okay, so basically you're going to see this colorful symbol show up 5 different times on your device. If it's your phone or your iPad, you'll use your finger to touch it. Okay, if it's your laptop or computer screen, you'll use your mouse. So just like this, you'll go and you'll do your pattern across the screen. Now, as you saw, I did that pretty quick, but that's because I got focus in that running. So I'm highly dialed into things right now. Okay, so the other thing I want to show you is the ingredients that went selected. Now this is Dan's favorite part whenever I go to show this, because he likes to see all the different things that my body needs. Some of it could be actually embarrassing. But here's the thing. What I'm going to show you here, there's going to be very few ingredients that are actually focusing on my pain. More of it will be some different things that are in here. So balsam fir, okay? So now it's looking at, well, there's a little bit of pain, but fatigue in here and immune support. So some of the things that I haven't been actually focusing on, respiratory wellness, okay? Red clover, okay? High cholesterol, respiratory, hot flashes, well, I don't know about that. Breast tendon, see, this is the thing that Dan likes to see. He likes to see a guy come up with this kind of stuff showing up, okay? So again, all of those will focus on different things on you, but some of them, depending male, female, or whatever, it may only be for specific things, okay? Ginseng American, okay? Anxiety, okay? I do suffer from a lot of anxiety, stress and anxiety, dental cares, and plaque. I actually have a broken tooth, so I got to get fixed. So it's recognize that, okay? Brain wellness. Well, you know what? Sometimes my cognitive skills or my memory isn't that great, so it's focusing a little bit on that and a little bit of anti-inflammatory. Sheep sorrel root. I talk about this one all the time, okay? Reduces swelling, inflammation. It's very, very good for that. But you're going to find that when you run these, that these things here, like a lot of these ingredients, are not going to be the same as what you had 5 days or 10 days ago. That's because your body has already absorbed what it wants of these ingredients, and they may be down now in the lower 50s, 50% to 0% at this point. Now, for anybody who's just starting, we always recommend you go with the top 10 that are in there. Just on your very first spark that you do, let it run for, we recommend 10 to 14 days, but it's your choice on whatever you want to run it for, okay? That's just what the recommended time is. The longer, the better, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're just going to do like it says. We're going to give it a label. So I always put my name and then the date. That's it. So I know the date that I started this, which is the 9th today. So I'm going to click on activate. I'm actually going to put it for 10 days. I'm going to run it a 10-day cycle. I usually run 10-day cycles, so I do 3 sparks a month. So I'm going to activate that. So now this is now running. Those ingredients are now being delivered to me. I'm one of those that's a little bit sensitive to the energy space, so I can actually feel those coming to me right now. I get kind of a warm sensation. Now, you'll have 2 options for 2 more slots to run 2 different boosts. These ones here are what we call predefined ones. So all of these are under different categories. These are the featured boosts here, but they are categorized by core wellness, okay, physical info boosts, emotional boosts, social boosts, and of course, sexual hormonal boosts, okay? So you have choices of what you can select. Now, all the ingredients in here are related to those specific needs. So the cardiovascular system, I'm going to click on the green button this time. And what this is going to do is going to show me all the ingredients that will be delivered to me, or the information of these ingredients, and there's 93 of them in here, that will be delivered to me instantaneously the moment I click activate. And again, if you want to find out what these ingredients are, you can always click here and see what, click on the name and it'll show you exactly what each of them does. Now, if you become sensitive to it, you can always go in and you can reduce the number of ingredients. You can select 10 at a time, 20 at a time, 30 at a time, until you don't have any kind of discomfort. The discomfort I'm talking about is what they call a detox, okay? Now this has the most ingredients. This would be the one I think most people would have a bit of a detox to. So I'm gonna click activate. Now all of those ingredients now are being delivered to me. I can feel it again coming down to me right now, that all of these are now coming and working on my cardiovascular system. Now, let's say I wanted to go to the gym right now and have a great workout. Well, the one that works really good with cardiovascular is energy, okay? Now you could put focus on as well. Focus would work great, but energy will give you that ultimate workout. So I'm just gonna throw this on just for the sake of this example here, and I will always set it for the same amount of days, and I'll click and I'll activate. Now I have those running. So I've got energy running, I've got cardiovascular running, and then I have all of these specifics that are here working on the core issues with my body. So it could be working on all of those different categories that I just showed you, but it's specific to what my body wants right now. So the other important thing you have to understand is that with this here, when you click activate on these, you're done. You can turn off your computer, turn off your cell phone, turn off any device, walk away for 14 days or however long you set this for, and these will be delivered to you no matter what, You don't have to be in front of anything. There's no devices to carry, no wristbands to wear, nothing like that. That's it for me.
Nobody got that.
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute. That was awesome, Carl. I couldn't find my unmute button. That was awesome, man. Good job. And just to reiterate, Carl was just showing an example if you're brand new, right? Obviously, if you've got some experience with this, you're going to do some different things. But we like to keep it simple. And so now, Benjamin Davis said Anthony has a 777. And so if Anthony's here, I just thought it'd be cool to go over to him because we've never heard from him. That'd be awesome. Is Anthony here? Benjamin? Yeah, no.
Anthony is there, but Anthony is my brother, and
Yep.
maybe I could give his testimony if you don't mind. I'm not sure. Anthony, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm right with my mom.
There we go.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Today, I woke up with, I'm on an ankle bracelet, and so I heard there was supposed to be some type of cosmic something last night in the air or whatever to keep your instruments and everything away from you and all that. Well, I didn't think about it that I had this bracelet on my ankle for being on home monitoring, and woke up this that I could barely walk, and then my mom had reminded me of turn my limbic.
Maybe we can get.
I went to turn on my limbic, then turned on my regular turned on, and then I see one that said for. And as soon as I turned on limbic, as I was sitting, I stood up after my limbic turned on, and it was in my mind. I'm like, no way. This did not work that fast. My pain had went from a 10 to almost a 2. You know, and I started walking around like, Mom, I am not feeling the pain and I'm not limping anymore. And I immediately texted Ben and checked him. I said, man, this is not working that fast. But that was my testimony that like the pain that I was feeling had went from a 10 on down to a 2. You know, and I ended up sending out the video to all my friends. I had a couple of them asking more questions about this, but yeah, that's what happened to me today.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Anthony. The reception wasn't too good, but we got the main part. Your pain went from a 10 to a 2. And he's got an ankle bracelet, and I think he put on calm. His mom reminded him about the dark, right? I think that was it. That was awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. We are going to head over to Gina Buck. Gina Buck, what's going on?
Hi. I'm doing pretty well. I'm, having ups and downs like always, but I wanted to tell you guys, the last 4 days around here have been so sunny and so nice outside. And up until today, when it's turned chilly, it's been very pleasant to be outside. So I started pushing myself a bit and getting out there, and I raked some leaves around the perimeter of the house. I did some digging around and planted some seeds and did a few things, and I was doing really well. And I was surprised because after the second day, I was like, I can do some more. So yesterday, I worked on power washing part of the driveway. Now, our power washer will knock you on your behind because it's so powerful. And for me to not have a lot of muscle strength, yeah. But anyway, I managed to do that. And then it truly knocked me out. I mean, it just wore me out, something fierce. So when I came inside, well, before I had gone out there, I had put on energy and strength, I think it was. No, cardiovascular and energy. That's what I was using when I was outside working. And things were going along very well, I thought. And then when I came in and I was so exhausted and I held on to that wand for so long, I thought, I'm going to be so sore tomorrow. I'm not even going to be able to get out of bed. So I put the pain and some inflammation on and got up this morning, and I am amazed at how my muscles don't hurt. I'm so surprised by that. So that just shows you that even though you're so totally out of shape like I've been, that these boosts really do help. They really facilitate your body to be able to handle the stuff that's going on. So, and for those of you that don't know, I had a massive, very destructive surgery 16 months ago that up until about 8 weeks ago, I was flat on my back. I was still trying to recover from. And this is one of the hardest surgeries to recover from that they list. So for me to be able to finally to be able to get up and do things, and even though I'm not up to 100% strength, it's awesome to be able to even just get outside and enjoy myself. So that's all.
That's all. That's amazing. That's awesome. That is so cool. Look at Ron Murray going at it. Hearts and awesome. And yeah, everyone's clapping. Super great, Gina. That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Let's head over to John Ramsey. What's going on, John? You're muted. Carl's gonna unmute you. There. Oh, you're muted. There you go.
There we go. Yesterday afternoon, after lunch, I started noticing a little bit of digestive reflux issues. I have been in the pattern of taking a antacid Nexium about every other day on a regular basis for months and months and months. I did 3 months prescription for that for reflux. Well, I had intentionally dropped taking the reflux, so but I wasn't doing any kind of digestive tract boost. So I decided I would turn that on. I had to take my allergy off and I put on the digestive. And last night when I lay down, the only thing I did a little bit different, and I always have water with me at bedtime because of my dry mouth issues from radiation side effects. So I added just a little bit of soda to the water just for a more neutral effect. Usually when I lay on my right side, that's when I really can feel the reflux. So I laid on my right side and I just kind of sat there. Am I going to feel it? Am I going to feel it? No reflux last night, folks. No reflux. So that to me, that's another victory. Anytime I check off one of those little boxes, that hopefully we can learn to give up some of this medication that we've been glued to all our lives. Man, I'm going to be happy about that. It'll be well worth the price of the monthly subscription, I assure you. Thanks, that's it.
Thank you, John. That's awesome. It says my internet's unstable. Thank you so much. We got a few minutes to go, and we're gonna sneak in 2 more real quick. So Dana Morrison, you're up. Dana Morrison, is my internet working?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, sure can, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I pushed on mute and you must have too. It's good to hear all of your stories. I feel like there are so many that are huge. And it was one of my hesitations, you know, when I started with this and got on here, I don't know, 4 or 5 times listening before I thought about trying the product. And part of the reason is just because I thought, well, you know, how am I going to notice any difference? Well, even though I'm been taking pharmaceutical grade antioxidants, et cetera, for 25 years, I guess, and I'm conscious, you know, most of the time of what I eat, I thought there's got to be something that I'll notice. So for me, I used sleep. I used it once. I think I've been doing this for, today's the 9th, so 9 days. And I used it once earlier. It's like, oh, I slept through like for 6.5+ hours. And then I've been using different customs. I've tried the some of the ones that are in the Facebook files, but I realized, oh my gosh, I got such a headache. And I thought, that must be detox. So I shut it off. I tried that. It's pain, inflammation, and focus, I think. Tried it again a second time, and I noticed the same headache coming on, you know, kind of that same pressure. And I don't get headaches, you guys. It's just not a thing unless my neck's really cranked out or my shoulders are super tight. So I turned it off and went just to pain. And then last night I used sleep again. Now, we made tacos, and I ate probably too many tacos, and you know, that corn can be inflammatory, etc. And I didn't feel it. My knuckles don't feel any kind of inflammation, but even with organic, sometimes they do. So I did sleep last night and went to bed kind of full. You know, we sat up and waited for the moon to show, and that was a lot of fun. And then once I, you know, got done flopping around in bed and getting comfortable, boom, I was out. And I slept solid for 8 hours. And I woke up in the morning and I thought, it's still dark. What time is it? Not sure if it was the middle of the night. And I looked at the clock and it was 5:45. And I thought, oh my gosh, I slept 8 solid hours. And popped right up. Even though sleep was still on, I popped right up and thought, okay, I'm ready to go. I want to write. I want to get my day going. And turned off sleep and decided I would try that pain, inflammation, focus again, just because now doing this is captivated my attention for at least a few hours a day, I would say, between telling people and being on here and trying to capture some of the other meetings. So I'm compressing time and busy, but and my daughter, etc. Well, I have had that pain, inflammation focus on since I guess it's been several hours, and I don't feel any of that headachy stuff starting to come back again. But I had also done a new custom. I think Bob and I talked about it yesterday or the day before. So I ran a new custom, killed the old one, and with the old one gone and the new custom and, you know, today's immunity and this trifecta that's in the files, it just feels great. So just wanted to say, even though I don't have the pain and all the ailments that my heart goes out to for you guys, I can still tell that there's something that goes on. So just my story.
Awesome. Thank you, Dana. That was wonderful. And we're just over time. Carl, you're going to be with us tonight. So can you share yours tonight?
I kind of shared it a little bit earlier, so I'm kind of good with that. So it's,
Okay,
it's
cool,
all, it
man.
was all had to do with the custom. So
Okay, it was okay, cool. And if you do want to share it, then we can all come back in 5 hours, and you'll get to hear from Carl too. Ron Spence is going to share his personal testimonial, so that would be really cool. And you have 5 hours to share the love and invite everyone that you know, because that's going to be incredible. And if you didn't get to share, come there, put a 777 tonight, and we'll hear from you then. So with that, we get a double dose today. Isn't this exciting? We get to come back in 5 hours, 9 p.m. Eastern, guys. So we'll see you there. Until then, remember, what we can't do alone, we can do together.
Awesome. See you tonight.